Hi all, this is Allmighty and welcome to this video. So once again I'm forced to show you a game by the unbeatable Vlad, since he is playing exciting games in this candidates and just showing that he can be in all kinds of crazy positions. And of course later on in the conference say that he was better here, he was better here, he was better here. Okay, but nevertheless, the thing I like to say the most in my videos, nevertheless, let's just look at this game. Once again, we have a game between these two players, the game that raised a lot of dust, a lot of things in the round 3 of the tournament, when Kramnik was black, played the Berlin defense, played the rook to g8. Everybody started cheering, what an amazing game, is Kramnik going to win this tournament? And now 7 rounds after, we're just looking, okay, Kramnik is almost in every game that I feature on my channel, he is either playing a really crazy game and then drawing, or he is losing the game, or he is just simply winning. So just watching him the whole tournament was worth it, even though never mind the result. And yeah, this is also that kind of a game here. We have Kramnik now with white playing against Levon Aronian with black. So let's go into it. We have e4, e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, bishop to c4, and bishop to c5. So Kramnik, I gotta love this move. So bishop to c4, bishop to c5, going for the Giuoco Piano. Something I wouldn't imagine seeing on such a high level. So I covered a game by Vishy Anand a couple of days ago on one of the rest days, where he played the Giuoco Piano and went into that beautiful line and won the game. So let's see what happened here. Knight to c3, knight to f6. So when I saw this, I was like, come on man, don't ruin it. Playing the 4 knights defense. I mean, the opening, this is the golden rule in chess, probably. Maybe it isn't, but it should be. Playing the 4 knight defense is like, I want to draw the game. And that is simple as that. Not like from this point on it's going to be drawn or anything, but it's so symmetrical and it's so like analyzed and everything. From this point on, people have played multiple games for almost 300 years now. And on one hand, I'm glad to see it played even after 300 years on such a high level tournament as the candidates. And on the other hand, I was like, is there anything more exciting that you can play? But okay, let's see what happened next in the game. We have d3 Nc6, one of the possible lines in the four knights, and knight to d5, knight takes on d5, bishop takes on d5. So at least Kramnik has the strong bishop in the center, and yeah, black this pushing on this f7 pawn, and this could be something to go for in this situation. We have bishop to first d6, bishop to e3, bishop captures on e3, and f takes on e3. So already here we have exchanged the bishops, so nor white or black have the bishop pair, and white has double pawns, but don't let this fool you. This is a very normal thing to have in these openings, especially the Italian games, where you want to open up the f-file in order to attack very fast on the f7 pawn, for example, and d4 is possible at some point into the game. We have castles to defend on f7, and also castles of white. So yeah, I guess the main thing for white will be to actually go and attack this pawn. So in order to prevent this, and in order to get a little bit more activity from this knight, Aronian plays knight to b8. So knight doesn't make sense here. He won't be attacking on d4 or anything anytime soon. It is much better to put him on d7 and then after that on f6. We have b4, so after knight comes on d7, also knight to c5 is a possibility, so b4 is played right away. We have queen to d2 activating the queen, and now c6. Pushing this bishop away, the bishop is very strong in the center, and bishop comes to b3, and now a5. Black, so Aronian would really like to see bishop takes on a5, because after that knight to c5 comes, d4 isn't possible, knight is attacking on e4. So okay, let us try that. But Of course, Kramnik doesn't want to do that. He plays a3, and now, even if there would be some exchanges at some point, Black would have a really equal game, exchanging the rooks on the a file and then just going for it. I mean, it is a 4 knights game, so you couldn't expect anything more, but they decided to play something different. So knight to f6, a move that was expected. h3 and h6, yeah, just first white is stopping bishop to g4 at some point, and just keeping breathing space for the kings. We have rook from a to b1, so if there would be exchanges, Kramnik doesn't want to exchange the rooks. We have b5 expanding and queen to c3, attacking the c6 pawn, and yeah, moving the queen on the better square. And now we have bishop to d7 defending, and a rook to f2. So, as I've said, the f file is open, bishop is eyeing the f7 square. At some point you would like to double up the rooks. Queen to b6 attacking the pawn, and now rook to e1 defending. Rook from f to e8, and maybe a move that will bother Aronian later in the game, since this move, and with this move, a rook has moved from f8 to e8 and stopped defending on f7. And now this knight is the only thing that stays in the defense when this knight moves, so knight to h4 was played, of actually defending this f7 pawn. And also possibilities of sacrificing on f6 are very, very, very tempting at this point. So we have c5 here, a move that was yeah, stunning to a lot of commentators. For me, I would say, my personal opinion, it isn't a move that actually, yeah, makes the situation worse or anything. Black just wants to, yeah, open up the queen side and maybe create some chances there. So in a sense, Black is leaving everything on the king side. He's just going for the center and the queen side. So that is the idea of Levon. And because of that, we have rook from e to f1 going for it on the king side by Kramnik. We have c takes on b4, so attacking the queen, and also, yeah, attacking with the queen on e3. So now, if you take a takes on b4, there is a move such as a4, and now this bishop, yeah, if you go on d5, then knight will just capture. So let me show you this. So Black is not afraid of capturing on f7 because you have queen to e3 and the rook is pinned. So a move such as this is possible, but also if bishop to a2, queen e3 once again, and Black is just better in this position. So you wouldn't like to take, and Kramnik didn't. He played queen to e1, which is the best move in the position. And now we have d5. If, for example, Black would now take on a3 and go for the passed pawn, we have rook takes on f6. G takes on f6, and now the other rook takes. Queen to g3 is a threat, and yeah, Black is just getting destroyed here. The f7 pawn is attacked. There aren't that many things that Black can hope for in this position. So here Aronian plays d5. So one thing is certain, he is a pawn up for a little bit. He can give up a d pawn. Queen has now yeah, opened up the 6th rank. So it is a 6th rank is open up for the queen. Queen can defend on the f6. So there isn't like a sacrifice when the other rook comes. Rather, yeah, the queen can a little bit help. And now bishop to d5 was a possibility maybe, but okay, we have bishop. Pawn takes on a3 and moves such as this. So instead of that, we had a takes on b4 first. Aronian took on e4, and Kramnik took on a5 with tempo attacking the queen. So we have rook takes on a5, and now a possible move was to take on e4, but or even actually capture on f6 at this point. But we had knight to g6, not really threatening anything at this point, but yeah, now actually Black could have just double up or threatening to play rook to a1, but we had bishop to e6 wanting to exchange, so a normal human move, bishop to e6 wanting to exchange the bishop so that the tension relieves. But this gives white knight to e5 options, and now we have e takes on d3. And finally, in this position, Kramnik goes for it. He decided to sacrifice the rook on f6. G takes on f6, and now since the bishop is on e6, the other rook can come on f6. And now actually in this position, yeah, it is a problematic position because queen can come to g3. It is not all that clear for Black. How can he defend? White has given up an exchange, but he is going for a strong attack. And now we have d2 here. a very, yeah, a move that actually makes you think, because at this point you have to decide, will you go for queen to g3 check and go for the attack right away, or will you capture on d2? So now let's examine queen takes on d2. You have rook to a1 check. If king goes to h2, then you have something like queen to b8 pinning the knight, so this wouldn't be that great. Yeah, white doesn't have any immediate threats or checks, so yeah, it wouldn't be that great. So king to f2 is a better move. Now you have a move such as rook to f1 check. So if king takes on f1, you have bishop to c4, knight c4, and queen captures on f6. King moves somewhere, for example, e2, and you have bc4 and bishop takes on c4. White is not in a lost position. He has 2 pawns and a bishop for a rook, but this is a game that still needs to be played. So this was one of the possible variations, and the other was you can play queen to a5. But okay, Kramnik didn't take on d2, rather he played queen to g3. So as they call him, the pirate, and everything, and he thinks, I guess at this point, and I would agree that he is in a better position, even though if you look at the computer he says that the position is equal. Try and play this with black. I mean, being in this position, the g file is open and the queen is attacking, also the rook is here. Yeah, it is kind of problematic. So you really need to think what you should play. So going on h8 doesn't work because rook h6 is checkmate. King to h7 doesn't work because of this beautiful c4 move. You're eyeing the d1 square of the promotion, and also bishop to c2 is a threat. So, okay, the only move is king to f8. And now, an absolute best move in the position, rook to f1. Moving the rook out of the way so that also defending the d1 square, and that when knight comes to g6 with check, king to g7 doesn't come with the tempo, attacking the rook. So we have rook to a7, bring the rook back to the defense, and knight to g6. King to g7 seems like to be the only move, and now we have the remaneuvering of the knight. Knight to f4 check, king h8, and knight to h5, threatening queen to g7 checkmate. And also queen to e5 is a possibility. So f6 is played, and knight to f6. So once again, it is a difficult position, and already here Aronian is under 5 minutes and he really needs to find the best moves. He plays rook to f8, attacking the knight, and we have queen to f4. Threat is queen to h6 check and then checkmate, so we have rook to h7. Of course Aronian can play this because knight to h7 doesn't work, the knight is pinned, and now queen to e5, something that could also be played right away. And now actually, here Aronian is under a minute, he has a minute and a half, so he is very low on time, and actually the only move that could bring him a draw is rook to g7 at this point. Because now, even if bishop to e6, first you have queen to c6, threatening to checkmate on g2, and now after e4 you have this rook to g5. So not allowing any checks, queen has to move, wherever she moves, d4, yeah, for example, d4, you have queen to c5 offering the exchange, or if she even moves queen to b2, once again, queen to c5, king goes to h1, and queen to e5, yeah, just going for the exchange of queens. So, okay, this was the move that yeah, Aronian should have made, but instead of that he played queen to c7, which gives Kramnik an opportunity to give a checkmate in 7 moves. And yeah, he had a couple of minutes on the clock and he found it. He played knight to e8 check, and at this position actually Aronian resigned the game, because if he captures the queen you have this rook captures, bishop covers, and rook to g8 checkmate. Other possibility could have been to play king to g8 in order not to, yeah, just go for that straight away, but queen to e6. And now, for example, if queen to f7, you have rook takes on f7, this rook covers, you have queen to g6, king h8, and queen to h6 check. And now you can, if king to g8, you have knight f6 checkmate, or queen to g7 checkmate because the rook is pinned. And if rook covers, for example, then you have queen to f8 checkmate. So this is the last position after queen to c7, knight to e8 was played, and yeah, Aronian resigned the game and Kramnik won. So good on you, Big Vlad. I'm really glad that now after the conference he can clearly, with a clear conscience, say, yeah, I was in a better position. And also he is the guy that after the tournament he can say that he had 2 wins against Levon Aronian, which is not something that a lot of people can say actually. So yeah, maybe I was too skeptical for the 4 knights defense, but it seems that even today you can find a very interesting game going out of that opening. So yeah, this is pretty much it. I have to go because my dog, he wants to go out. And yeah, I would like to thank you for watching this video, and I will see you next time.